Call Akantia Sarah, because it's such a small group. Come nearer. And this is, I want to emphasize that this is not a formal presentation. It's more an elaboration, as I was telling Jagmohan Viji, of the nuggets he presented last time. Gurbani jo na jewels lab ke ne sade samne kitte sake, and as subject itna deep hai. एक बार मैं बड़े साल पहले I was reading Paisa Parveer Singh ji की व्याख्या on Mool Mantar, उन्होंने पहली सेंचुरी तो पढ़ी थी, and he said that the problem is कि एक अलौकिक चीज़ जेडी words which बयान ही नहीं हो सकती, ओदे उत्ते मैं लिख रहा हूँ, and so he says first of all मैं कहूँगा कि मेरी बड़ी बड़ी limitation है. And words जेडे ने ना इसको describe नहीं कर सकते. And उधे ते उन्होंने कई पेज लिख देते कि तुसी इसको describe कर सकते हो, तुसी सूरज दी गर्मी दस सकते हो, तुसी मिठी चीज़ां दी मिठास दस सकते हो. I mean, he's a poet, right? So he went on, and I just got it that the best is not intellectual standard. Understand. Do you want what? I have been in a very difficult space the last several weeks. Where वो जो अंदर का एंकर है ना नाम जो शब्द चल रहा है, वो इतनी कश्मकश की मैं पिछले कई हफ्ते और वो चल रही है कि वो खो गया. इस तो बड़ी ट्रेजेडी ना एक प्यार करने वाले वास्ते वो नहीं हो सकती कि वो जो नाम तानु सस्टेन करता है, जो तारी खुराक है, जो ऑटोमेटिकली तारे चल रहा है, जब वो खो जाए ना, then you feel that what is going on with you. So इस करके मैं कुछ ऐसे उत्ते dwell नहीं कर सकी, except last night when I felt that I made a commitment and I tried to get out of it, and Viji said नहीं कोई गाल नहीं, जो भी है करूँगा. And so the best I could do was find more quotations from Gurbani, because Gurbani explains Gurbani best. The rest is all speculation, the rest is all perspective, the rest are data points, right? But Gurbani, explaining Gurbani, is the truth shining light on truth. That's why it's very important for us to go back to what the Guru says while we understand. In the Mool Mantar, and now this is not speculation, but this is evident in the Mool Mantar itself, and I'll explain to you how. In the Mool Mantar, Guru Sahib describes the Swaroop of Vaheguru. Mool Mantar is the Swaroop of that which doesn't have a Swaroop. And he explains to us what that is. First of all, he starts with the numeral 1. 1. Okay. Now that 1, very interesting again, it's just a thought that came in my mind. That 1 is not 0. Okay? That 1 is not 2. That 1 is 1. You know, 0 te, shunya te, itni philosophy judi hai. And कई शून्यपंथी कहना उन्होंने, जिन्हें अपने विच शून्य लेना चाहते, where nothing exists, but one begins with one. कि वो होंद है, it is, that one is, that's all you can say. The one is. The use of one says that one is, there is one. That one is the indivisible one. And I am going to read something that I wrote. I'm working on a book which was actually inspired by Pitaji, Tripta's father. बड़े साल मैंने कहते रहे कि जैसी जिस तरह गीतांजलि लिखी है Tagore ने, and the very fact that he would even tell me कि आ कोशिश कर made me feel that he has so much faith and trust in me that he's wanting me to do something I'm not capable of. But उन्हां दे वो words मेरे मन च बड़े साल गूंजते रहे. And a couple of years ago, I started writing a book that is 1/3 complete, which is the exposition of 50 concepts in Sri Guru Granth Sahib, explained in lyrical prose on one page. Not on and on and on, but just one page, to the extent Babaji gives me the ability to do it. On one side, the explanation, the quotation, and the other side, one page of the explanation as Babaji, with his grace, is channeling through me. So this is what I wrote. It all begins with Ek. Ek is the indivisible one, the unbroken circle, the unifying presence and unicity of the Creator and the creation. Ek stands alone and separate, yet sparkles in every vapor. Ek is the inseparable color of the perfumed rainbow and the rays of the sun that gather in its fold at dusk. The colors are separate in the rainbow, and yet they are one. And when the rainbow disappears, they all disappear into the one. Same with the sun. Ek is the spray of the wave that comes back to the embrace of the ocean. Ek is the clay of the body that returns to dust when the rosary of breath is done. Breath di jadoo mala tut jandi hai, te oh jo clay hai, oh clay ch milke oh ik ho jandi hai. That is what Ek is. Ek is what the soul bride longs for and finds in the embrace of the beloved when the play is done. Vaho vaho ka vada tamasha. When it is over and when we have earned it in whatever lifetime, then we become one again. Because we start with one. Acceptance of Ek is the first baby step on the path to union. ऐता ही यूनियन होएगा जे पहला एक दी होंद जानांगे, पहचानांगे, बनांगे, एम्ब्रेस करांगे, एक दे रस्ते ते चलांगे. So Ek is not just philosophy. Ek is living. Ek is there to be imbibed, to be understood, to be applied, to be lived every moment, every breath. Because when you live Ek, let's put it this way, when you don't live Ek, you have the kind of world we have today. The planet disintegrating, wars, misunderstandings, a web of lies, Maya. It is the lack of the presence of Ek that is creating all this. Ek is the first baby step on the path to union. Ek doesn't take birth or die. It is pure consciousness whose remembrance keeps our internal landscape lit up. Just that Ek within us lights up our faces, our lives, our surroundings, our planet. Just that remembrance. इतनी शक्ति है उस एक दी होंद विच उदी याद विच. एक याद भी, होंद भी है, याद भी है, पूजा भी है, सिमरन भी है, आप भी है, उदे च सब कुछ है. That is Ek. It has no foes or fears. It is self-illumined and can only be known through bakshish, through grace. There are no middlemen between the experience of Ek and us. Because we are also Ek in our essence. That's why there are no middlemen. There is no need. It is a part of us. We just need to gaze inwards to know it, to experience it, to feel it, to become it. Like the musk deer that is unaware of carrying the fragrance within him, but roves the jungles in its quest. We are constantly looking for peace or happiness or whatever name we give to our spiritual pursuit, to experience the oneness that completes us. We keep looking for other things to complete us because all of us feel inside that we are incomplete. Adhure mehsoos karne. And we look for that completion in all kinds of things, places, people, acquisitions, art, poetry, everywhere. But ultimately, ek is the art, and ek is the poetry, and ek is the rhythm, and ek is the completion. Not knowing sometimes till the very end that what we seek and long for lies deep within us. What we need to do on our path, on our journey is, we merely need to let the wonder of ek unfold. And that happens when we surrender to ek. So this is how ek is felt within the depths of my soul. Again, this is explanation. I wouldn't call it speculation. This is experiential. This is what I have felt. Now, here is what amplifies ek. Ek in Gurbani is not an adjective. It's not even a noun. It is the proper noun of that which doesn't have a name. Ultimately, ek is only ek. It can only be described by ek. There is no other word for it. I'm sorry, just shove it, put it up. Should have turned it off.
It's in the back. Oh.
Just put it away, wait. Just put it back. I'm sorry.
What is this one?
Just done it. I'm sorry. Sahib mera eko hai. Eko hai by eko hai. How do you describe ek? First he says, oh, ek hai. And then, in the next sentence, he wants to describe the ek, and then comes back to it. Eko hai by eko, right? So, ek can only be addressed, described, experienced, and ek. And then you amplify it by saying, "Teo eko hi hai bhai, aur main ki keh sakna." Ekam ਏਕਮਕਾਰ ਨਿਰਾਲਾ। You know, ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਤਾਰੀਫ ਕਰਨੇ ਆ, ਦੁਨਿਆਵੀ ਤਾਰੀਫ ਕਰਨੇ ਆ ਨਾ, we say, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਰਗਾ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਿਸਮ ਦਾ ਹੀ ਹੈ, right? This is what ek is, ਉਹ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਿਸਮ ਦਾ ਹੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਨਿਰਾਲਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਏਕਮਕਾਰ ਨਿਰਾਲਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੋਰ ਕੰਪੇਅਰ ਕਰੋ, ਇੱਕੋ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਏਕਮਕਾਰ ਨਿਰਾਲਾ अमर अजोनी जात न जाला। ओ अमर है, ओ अजोनी है, ਉਹਦੀ ਤੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੀ, ਉਹਦਾ ਤੇ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਹੀ ਉਹੀ ਹੈ, ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ 'ਚ ਹੈ। There are no webs around it. There is no deception around it. अगम अगोचर रूप न रेख्या, fathomless, invisible. No roop, no rekhya, no lines, no drawings, no chart, no picture. And yet, how is he revealed? Khojat, khojat, ghat ghat dekhya. Right? Ekamkar nirala, lab lab ke thak gaye, na roop, na rekh, na rekhya, na koi picture, na koi portrait, na koi indication, na koi guide map. But when I look inside, I see him. Everywhere, in everything, in every vapor, in every being, in every pore of my being. That is what ek is. And further he describes, Gun eho, hor nahi hoy. कि गुण की वो इको ही है गुण ए हो ना ही कोई ना को होआ ना को कोई ओ एक कोई हो नहीं हो सकता जदों तक वो एक ना बने and whatever he describes in the Mool Mantar is further described in Sri Guru Granth Sahib ekankar niranjan nirbhav sab jal thal reha samaye. So our reality coming back is one, not zero, but one. Visible, invisible, all in one. Antar bahar, ek pehchan hai. Right? So that is ek. Now, how do we live this ek? Right? The applicability of ek. Here is something I presented at the Parliament of World's Religions last year on I got it here. I'd like to share. The subject was, how do you bring inner peace into the world, into yourself, and how do you bring outer peace into the world? And my subject was that the formula for inner and outer peace lies in the Mool Mantar of Sri Guru Granth Sahib. Once you understand and experience it within you, and then you apply it to your life and keep on applying it from your nearest people to from your family to your community to your city to your wider community, that ekunkar, that formula, that secret formula is embedded in the Mool Mantar of ek. It is, there is a Native American proverb that says, it is no longer enough to talk about peace. We must accept peace, live peace, and live in peace. What is peace other than the harmony and the oneness of the world? Once you realize that, once you accept that oneness and bring the walls down, only then peace is possible. So forget about peace embedded in the Mool Mantar. The secret of peace is embedded in the ek that Guru gave us. This is how you live life. This is how you go out into the world knowing that you are one, that whatever happens to you affects me. Whatever happens to me has its ramifications on everyone around me. Today we've seen what is happening. The radiation of the nuclear meltdown in Japan is being felt in San Jose. The greed of Wall Street brought the world economy down. I mean, we are connected. The genetic scientists are now telling us that 99.9% we are one, right? We are all the same. And yet, our personalities, our outer differences, Babaji ne kiya na, eko kaan, eko naak, saaryan di ik hai. And yet, pehchan different hai, rang different hai. But ਉਹਨਾਂ differences ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੰਨੇ ਗਵਾਚ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ that ਉਹ ਇਤਨੀ ਵੱਡੀ commonality of one ਅਸੀਂ ਭੁੱਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ. So ek, and then मानस की जात सब एक है पहचान को. Look where all एक comes. अपने वास्ते, होंद वास्ते, worship वास्ते, पूजा वास्ते, नाम वास्ते, एक सिमर पाई, right? And then ओ जात नो इको जान. So this is how we apply ek in our lives. And how do you apply ek? You cannot apply ek. You cannot apply ek until you experience ek. And that is why chanting, that is why mantra, that is why repetition, that is why kirtan, that is why simran, that is why naam. That is why constant dwelling upon that message of oneness. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Sorry I've taken so long on just one, but I think it still is not enough. There are reams and reams of and books and pages written on ek, and none of that is enough, and none of that is perhaps even necessary. Let the intellectuals debate it. What we need to do is we need to experience it in the quiet, in the solitude of those hours that we invest in ourselves, when we tune in with the ek and we feel that radiance that is outside us is within us. I mean, we can see that, we can feel that. You know, the metaphor of light is a very real one. You see that, you see that emanating when your eyes are closed and focused inside. You see that light and you are enveloped in it. So then Guru Sahib says, Omkar. Now what is Omkar? Yes, last time we debated it, right? And we finally said it is the manifestation. But you know, wonder of wonders, we already know this. Gurbani defines Omkar. And here are some of the lines. Okay, here are some interesting thoughts first. There are two kinds of letters in alphabets. You know, we say vowels and we say consonants, right? Right? In Gurmukhi, we have only three vowels, Ura, Ada and Edi, right? These are called swar. They are the sound vowels. The rest are all consonants, or they have a different name in Gurmukhi, which you might know. They're called Sankhya or whatever, I don't know, there's a word for them. I'm not a scholar, so I don't know, but all that I know is that there are three vowels, Ura, Ira and Edi, and they're called swar. They're the basic swar. The rest of the alphabets in Gurmukhi, Ka, Kha, they all have the swar. Without the swar, the Gurmukhi alphabet does not exist. And this is something by Veer Singh said. An authoritative scholar on Sikhi. And so then what? Ek baat ki anda? The first swar of the Gurmukhi script, which is Ura. The base, the root is Ura. And if you look back to the Vedantic thought, Om was also, it looked similar to the Ura. Guruji modified it and wrote it in a way that the Ura transformed into Omkar. The likhi itself, the likhai, sorry, pardon my Punjabi, but the likhai itself of Omkar was an Ura elaborated. The Ura enhanced. The Ura amplified. However you may look at it. And that became Omkar. And how does he say? Now Omkar also represents Akal Purakh. What is Omkar? Babaji describes it. Omkar Brahma Utpat. Omkar created Brahma. Brahma, Vedantic which pehla Brahma aaya na, the creator. Omkar Brahma Utpat. Omkar kiya jin chit, created the consciousness. Omkar sal jug bhai. Jug, so I'm sorry, I'm reading my romanized. Omkar sal jug bhai. Omkar ved nirmay. So what is this? Omkar ne Brahma create kita, Omkar ne consciousness create kiti, Omkar ne jug create kite. The eons, the ages. Then Omkar ne Ved create kite. The knowledge, the spiritual knowledge. So what is Omkar then? Omkar is also Ek. Omkar is Ek, amplified, enhanced, manifested. That is what Omkar is, from Gurbani. And then, here is where Omkar becomes worship. Omkar Shabad utre. When it becomes the Shabad that you contemplate upon, you are uplifted. That is what Omkar is. Omkar Gurmukh tare. Right? So Omkar is not anything else but a further description, elaboration, amplification, enhancement of it. That's what it is. Unam Akhar. Unam, right? Unam Akhar. Suno, Vichaar. Listen to it, the primal sound. And then what? Contemplate upon it. Unam Akhar Tribhavan Vichaar. All the words, all the creation, all the three words are reflecting upon it. This is what Omkar is, according to Gurvani. So, yes, the Ek, the indivisible one, is further described as Sat. So really, truly, the Mool Mantar is just a description of Ek. What Ek is. ऐसा तो यही लगता है ना? Omkar is the description of one, what one is. Sat is the description of Ek, Omkar. Now also further amplifies it. So you get where we are going? And then he says, the only command in Japji Sap, I'm going to go to Sat and then stop there. The only command is Jap. And Jap Kinu? Again the pointer is to Ek. Jo Aad Sach hai, jo Jugaad Sach hai, jo hai bhi Sach hai, jo Hosi bhi Sach hai. वो कौन है? वो एक है. So it comes full circle in the Mool Mantar and the, what we call the, is it called the Peripody? You know, Aad Jap Aad Sach Jugaad Sach. Is that part of, it's not considered. Yeah, Manglacharan, the auspicious opening, है ना? So ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ एक तो शुरू होके एक ते ही क्या है कि उन्हें जपो, उन्हें वर्शिप करो, उन्हें पूजो, उन्हें याद करो, वही नाम है, एक ही नाम है, and वही सत्य है. Now सच की है, ऐ वो सच नहीं है कि ऐ सच्चा है तो वो झूठा है, ऐ वो सच नहीं है. ऐ वो सच है जो सच्चे झूठे तो बियॉन्ड है. सच्चे झूठे वो किस तरह? जिस तरह सूरज गर्मी नहीं है, सूरज लाइट नहीं है, सूरज लाइट एंड शेड भी नहीं है, सूरज लाइट एंड शेड गर्मी और तपत तो बियॉन्ड है. उसी तरह सच सच और झूठ तो बियॉन्ड है. I wrote it like this, and the reason I'm reading this is I would like for you to give me feedback and see if I have written it correctly. So this is what I said, going back to Omkar, if you bear with me for a second. Omkar is the vivid invisible, the formless in form, the unknowable that intimately knows the whisper of every ant and the pulse of every mountain. That is the ant and the mountain. It is the manifest that illumines darkness and yet is the darkness too. That is Omkar. It is the movement in every song, the passage of every dance. It is the art in the theaterist. It is the translucence in light. It is the vibration of thunder. It is the ache in every longing. It's Omkar. No picture or idol or temple or edifice, no form or feature can adequately represent the fathomless wonder of Omkar. And yet, it is every picture and every edifice, every temple and every worshipper. It is the sound, it is the word, it is all, it is none, it is one. That is what Omkar is. And today, last night I found evidence of it, what Omkar is. And then Sat, the Sat that is beyond Sach and Sut. The essence of Ek Omkar is absolute truth, Sat. It is not your truth or mine. It is not partial truth or poetic truth. It is the truth that abides where the finite meets the infinite. That is the only truth. Sat is immutable and eternal, beyond analysis. You cannot analyze this truth. and beyond comprehension. It is the truth that can neither be perceived by the senses, it cannot be, not by the five senses, nor understood by the intellect. It existed before time and pervades outside of time, though beyond understanding. It can be experienced in solitude and stillness, in moments of poise and praise, in the sublimation of ego and benevolence of prayer. That is how Sat can be experienced.
So how's that different from Ik?
It is
or
not.
Vaheguru? It's the same
It is
thing,
not.
right? So it's
It
just
is
another
not.
word.
So that's what I'm saying. All of that Mool Mantar is describing Ik. Omkar is describing Ik. Omkar is the manifestation of Ik. Sat is nothing but Ik. Sat is basically just describing Ik. It is all Ik. So just like we say that Guru Granth Sahib Tat Japji Sahib hai, Japji Sahib Tat Mool Mantar hai. I came to this realization last night that Mool Mantar Tat Ek Mool Mantar Tat. The sages have taught us how to
I'm
cross.
missing something there. If the different words don't have any meanings in themselves, if Sat doesn't have any meaning separate from Ik, then why even have a separate word?
Because
There must be some different sense to that
Nivechi,
word.
it's further amplification, it's further description. Of course it is Sat, of course it is truth. But that truth is inherent in Ek Sat hai. Aad Sach hai. Describe kita hai na?
I understand that, but you would think that each of these words is bringing out some different
Of
aspects
course
of
they
it.
are.
So
They're
it's-
different
so that
nuances
wasn't
of
clear.
one.
That's what wasn't clear. What's the specific meaning of Sat different from any of the others? It must be adding
The
something.
nuance of Sat here is that which never changes, that which is eternal, that which doesn't break down, that which is everlasting. Those are the different nuances. And if you think about it, all those nuances apply to Ik also.
Well, Ik has to include all of them.
Yes,
But,
yes.
okay. Now, just after that, what is Sat adding in terms of
Sat
your
is
comprehension or your
amplifying, Sat
view
is
or your-
describing. You know, all of Sri Guru Granth Sahib is in praise of the One.
Of course.
And how to live as one,
Sure.
right? So what is it adding? It is adding layers and layers and layers of meaning to be revealed from within by the grace of Guru Prasad. At least that's how
Sure. I agree with all
how
that.
I got it. Okay. So let's see. I'm just going to cover Sat and let's see if we have. So here is another line from Japji Sahib itself that describes such and goes back to Ek, Sacha Sahib, Sacha Naam. So yes, you can understand Sat in the context of truth, never changing, everlasting, never breaking down, never disintegrating, that which lasts beyond everything else. But it all comes back to one. All comes back to the description, amplification of one. At least that's what I got out of it. I guess that's it for now, because then we come to Naam, which is joined with Sat, which is also, which has three. Should I go on or?
Yeah, please, it's okay.
Huh?
Maybe we'll have 10 minutes.
Couple of minutes more?
Yeah, maybe 10 minutes.
I don't need 10. I just need a
Okay.
couple of more minutes.
Sure.
You know, the Sanskrit root of Naam is Naman, which is to remember, to call out, to beckon. ਉਹਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਯਾਦ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੋ ਜਦੋਂ ਨਾਮ ਯਾਦ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਤੇ ਬੰਦਾ ਯਾਦ ਆਉਂਦਾ right? Naam is to remember someone by that name. So Sat Naam, that Naam which is to be remembered only as Sat, that ever changing one, that reality that will live beyond the transience and the transitoriness of this world. That is the Sat Naam. That Naam also is what? Ik. See, that's why I started feeling that Ek is the thing that needs to be understood and realized and experienced. And all of this just describes the various nuances. I mean, it's endless. 1430 pages describe nothing but one. How to worship, how to praise, how to experience, how to live. नाव तेरा निरंकार है, नाव में अंदर भाववासा, साचा साहिब, साचा नाए. It's all again Sat. See, what I am trying to say here is that, and we will go to Nirpa Nirankar next time hopefully, but Ek Omkar, Sat Naam, Karta, Purak, Nirpa, Nirvair, Akal Murut, Ajuni, Saibhang, all these 9 attributes are amplifications of one. They are not just mere adjectives. They are also acts of, or words of praise, although adjective does praise, they are words of worship also. These are mantras, these are sound currents that connect you to that one. When you think of Nirbhav, when you think of Satnam, I mean, these are complete in and of themselves, like the one. Sat, I mean, that embodies the one. Nirbhav, और कोई है ही नहीं है निर्भाव, वो इको ही निर्भाव है. और कोई है ही नहीं है सत, वो इको ही सत है. और कोई है ही नहीं है निर्वाण, इको ही निर्वैर है. So when you say that or experience that or get deep into that, that becomes the naam, that becomes the simran, that becomes the pyar, that becomes the siri, that becomes the jap and everything. Vaheguru Ji ka khalsa.
I wanted to make a comment.
Yes, questions, 10 minutes.
Yeah. So there is no a zero in Punjabi. Shunya there is, right, in Hindi, but equivalent of zero is not there in Punjabi. And I think you brought a very good distinction between you. You said the Shunyataris and the Ik and Sikhi. Right. Because I think that's the main distinction, because all the Rishi Munis were after Shunya. Buddhism is after emptiness, but Sikhi is for Ik.
Yes.
That was very good,
to accept with it. It all begins with it. Right. Any other comments, any other observations?
Yeah, of course. It's just so fascinating. I'm just thinking about Balaji. You were sitting here, listening to this. Now, question is where this concept fits into Nirbhav, Nirvair, Narak, Kosi, be such, have be such. Where does it fit into the concept of soul? A soul is beyond the body. I mean, where, I know you were very focused today. I don't want to sidetrack.
No. This is a very valid question. Maybe Vichi can answer it.
And I just wanted some elaboration.
In its essence, Viji, as I understand it, and please understand that my understanding is very limited, very, very limited. There are very more learned people here. In its essence, because we are part of one, we have that nirpavta latent in us. You know, वो सुता होया है एक साडे विच, and वो जागेगा ते सानू nirpavta और nirvairta पता लगेगा. Right now, we are not fearless. We are fearful. ਨਿਰਭਉ ਜਪੇ ਸਗਲ ਪਾਉ ਮਿਟੇ. ਉਹਦੇ ਜਪਨ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਕਰਨ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ, ਕਿਹਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਕਰਨ ਨਾਲ? ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਪ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਉਹ ਇੱਕੋ ਹੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਜਪਨ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡੇ ਪਾਏ ਜਾਣਗੇ. ਉਹਦੀ ਯਾਦ ਨਾਲ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਿਆਉਣ ਨਾਲ, ਆਪਣੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਲਿਆਉਣ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡੇ ਪਾਉ ਜਾਣਗੇ. ਇਹ ਕਨੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ. When we are in the body, when we are in the soul, and when we are part of that light, when we are one with that, then there is no difference. But oh, oneness tai hoegi na, je ode varge hoange ta. So in this lifetime, or in the numerous lifetimes that we are going to go through, our goal is to become one through becoming such, through becoming nirpa, through becoming nirvair, which will all happen through good prasad, is how I say.
I would like to say something. I attended one Jessi Kaur course, and some scholar or somebody brought Ikyonkar in a very different way.
Right.
You can disagree or do.
No, I would love to hear.
But the thing which struck me the most is like when we say Jyoti Jyot Bili,
Yeah.
Jal Ka
Jal ka
Jal
jal
Huara.
huara. Right.
So Jyoti Jyot means we are Jyot and he is Jyot, or she is
Yes.
Jyot, God is Jyot.
Yes.
So then it's one,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
It's one.
Yes.
So we and he are one.
Yes.
So then the concept come, I am also, or I am God.
Of
We have to
course.
find God within ourselves.
Yes.
So one.
Yes.
So we are one.
Yes.
So the concept was we are one. मेरे वर्गी कोई और तृप्ता दुनिया च है ही नहीं.
Yeah.
I am one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Not only that, you're also one with God, but you have to realize that.
So no. But I am saying, so there is no one here and one here. It's all one.
Of course, it's at the macro
That is
and micro
where
level.
that concept, he said, it's one is one. Because our soul, I am only one on this whole universe. मेरी शक्ल दा कोई और है ही नहीं.
Mhm.
So you are created one by one, and we are one.
Yes. Yes.
And then one has to, then you apply that to yourself, that you are nirbhav, you are nirvair. Then you apply
Okay.
yourself
Okay.
in your consciousness
Very sweet.
that everything is you. You become like he becomes.
Yes.
You become nirbhav. You become nirvair. You become, everything become you. So he brought in a way that there was no
Difference.
then it comes to the same line, Jyoti Jyot Mili,
Yes.
Jal Ka Jal Huara. And so ik is also ik here.
Yes,
I am
absolutely.
one.
Absolutely.
That's
Because-
one, and oneness
Yeah.
became kind of connected.
But that is true. I don't believe I was saying anything different.
No, you were
Because,
saying that's
because
what-
it's, you know, Jo Brahmande, Soi Pinde. The macrocosm is in the microcosm. So, if I didn't make it clear that we are also one,
Yeah.
when I said we are one with the universe, it also means we are, each one of us is one with one. However, this is the biggest difference. I am not one with one until I have vanquished the 5 things or the ego that separates me from him. The ego is what separates me from him. I may be one, but I'm not living as one because I am not fearless. I am not forless.
Yeah, but we have to become.
We
that
have
is
to
the
become
process.
That's exactly what I said. That is the process. And how does that happen? By realizing that the one is within me already. It is latent in me. The pilot light is there, but I have to make it shine and grow big through my worship, through my contemplation, my self. Kaho Nanak bin apa chine mite na param ki kai. Constant self-reflection कि मैं की गलत कर रहा, मेरे गुरु ने की क्या सी, मैं उस रास्ते से चल रहा कि नहीं. This web of lies and everything that I'm creating around me, or that people are, all of us tend to either create or be afraid of when someone else creates it. I mean, we have to break through that. So yes, we are one. Of course we are one. But the thing is, we can live in separation our entire lives and be lost. And that is why that line, Pule Marag Jine Bataya, Aisa Gurvad Pagi Paya. I used to think that Pule Marag is Ke Pulya Hoyanu Rasta Dasan Wala. No, there is another meaning in it. Jeda Manda hai ki main Pulla Hoyama. That recognition has to come that I am lost. And that humility has to come that I want to know what the direction is. If I am not lost, and I don't want to seek direction, and I want to keep on going and walking on the path that I think is the path that my mind dictates, then I am not recognizing I'm lost, then I'm not seeking direction, then there is ego, then there is arrogance, then there is total loss and separation, and that is how Murak Pranya ne asi apna janam gwaya. At least that's how I see it. Yes, we are one, but we are not one until we are blessed with Guru Prasad and seek the path. Any other question? Vai, Vichaar,
Vai.